Good evening or good morning to some of you. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz, and I'm joining you from Livestream.travel in Honolulu and eTurbo News. We're today going all the way to London, and we're introducing in a minute Snežka Richter from Greenheart Consulting. Before we do, I just wanted to explain everyone this is the continuation of our launch events in December for World Tourism Network. World Tourism Network started in March with the Rebuilding.travel discussion during the non-existing ITB trade show in Berlin. And we're now in the process of structuring this discussion forum with a little bit more than 1,000 members in 124 countries into an organization or a network we can work with and specifically help the medium and small-sized businesses through this crisis and continue the conversation, of course, also after the crisis and with the help of everyone. WTN is meant to be built up from the bottom up. That means we have chapters, or we're establishing chapters. I think we have about 11 right now. And these chapters are literally supposed to work independently under the leadership of someone in that region. That could be in a country, that could be in a city or in a region. And then we have interest groups. And interest groups are very important. These are international travel professionals that come together and discuss various interests. We have, if you go to the website, community tourism, culture, tourism, economics, education, fashion, and so forth. So everyone who is a member can start an interest group and also can start a chapter. So I hope you joined us already. If you didn't, just go to WTN.travel. You can sign up. We have both free and paid options, and we would love to have you here. Without further delay, I'd like to introduce Snežka Richter. I hope I pronounced this correctly. She's from Greenheart Consulting in the UK, and I give the floor to her, and she will tell us, she brought a panel, I think, and she will tell us what she's doing tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jürgen. Yes, there are three of us here today presenting. We had you, considering that we're very conscious of the time limits as well. So we have decided each to create a small presentation and to try to tell as much as we can about the subject. And of course, I am going to try to share the screen here so you can see my presentation. And I will also introduce my panel before I continue. So let me just try and share. So here we go. Let me see. Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yeah, we see you fine. And don't worry about the time that much. We're flexible. There's nothing coming after you. So
okay, that's great. So, okay, so I would like to mention that, of course, here, as you can see, we're going to be talking about inclusive sustainability. In practice, supports the UNDP Sustainable Development Goals and is essential to their success. So obviously, we're briefly looking into it today. Now, as Jürgen already introduced me, I'm the founder of Greenheart Consulting, and I'm also a Green Globe accredited auditor. As a board member of Skull International London, I also advise on sustainability and social media issues. So at Greenheart Consulting, we provide advisory as well as training in travel and tourism. The focus is on inclusive sustainability and responsible and regenerative development to small and medium enterprises and destinations. My travel and tourism industry experience extends over 25 years of practice and includes lecturing in travel and tourism as well. So we promote inclusive sustainability by implementing lasting change through all aspects of our activity. and leading by example wherever we can. And as a result of that, our mission statement is very simple: do good by being the change you want to see. To make this happen, 10% of all our profits after tax are earmarked for projects we support. Of course, joining me today are my friends and colleagues, Elisabetta Milanovic Glavica and Jayanti Iyengar, who are both dedicated to sustainable and responsible development. Elisabetta is managing director of Central Podravina Tourist Board in Croatia, who is an experienced travel and tourism professional. She will introduce her region briefly and talk about examples of good practice, implementing educational seminars to support and motivate tourism stakeholders in her region during the pandemic, and the implementation of cultural tourism as part of their commitment to sustainable tourism development. Jayanti is a well-being coach from Delhi in India with over 17 years of experience in the travel and tourism industry. She is a sustainable and responsible tourism professional for all these years and well-known environmental activist in her home region as well. She will introduce us to the benefits of implementing emotional well-being in all aspects of life and business. So, anyway, we have a crisis. A pandemic such as COVID-19 is clearly a result of us encroaching on our surrounding environment. Experts such as primatologist Jane Goodall and epidemiologist Tira Smiley Evans are quite frank about this, as you can see. But we also know there are thousands of such viruses that could cause another pandemic in the wild, in nature. And will we actually see another pandemic in the next 10 years? So, in my view, if we return to business as usual, we definitely will. And that's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Of course, there are many other factors that could cause a crisis, either natural, political, economic, or other. But here we show the example of major causes which have supported the creation of this pandemic. So the question is, how can a business or destination become sufficiently resilient to survive such a crisis? And how do we really weather a storm? More so, how do we actually prevent another one? And I would like to start with our business as usual. So, the typical goals of a business or destination or a wish list, so to speak, based on an extraction economy, we have right here. But is this achievable if we continue with business as usual post-pandemic? Not in my opinion. So here are some examples of what type of goals a business or destination should implement instead of this, and how to take steps towards being based on inclusive sustainability, which relies on regenerative qualities. Such change requires quite a serious shift in mindset, determination, persistence. Most of all, it requires commitment. It also means taking action swiftly because climate crisis urges us that there is no time to dwell on long-winded plans. It also means that every member of your team must be on board and ready, of course. So, sustainability, what is that anyway? Because in my opinion, it's an overused term, yet many only barely know what it really means. Of course, I'm sure that everybody present will have had some interest, so they will know. But the actual original concept of sustainability can be traced back to the German tax accountant Hans von Carlowitz in the 17th century, and it was applied to forestry. So it's not something that started yesterday. And obviously here we have the definition of sustainability. That is a definition that's widely accepted. Currently, there is also much talk about regenerative tourism. So we'll have a look into inclusive sustainability first, as we do have a connection there, of course. So what is inclusive sustainability? As far as I'm concerned, it's a way of life. but it's also a step up from sustainability as we know it so far. And as you can see here, it rests upon 5 areas of conscious action. First of all, environmental responsibility. It serves to combat climate crisis, which directly threatens biodiversity and therefore our own existence on the planet by making conscious decisions and employing responsible use of natural resources. So protecting environmental resources is no longer sufficient. Regenerative development is essential. Then we have integrated community and or society. It serves all members of community, regardless of racial, ethnic, religious group, gender, sexual orientation, ability or disability, age or species. Cultural vitality is the practice of creating, disseminating, validating, and supporting arts and culture as a dimension of everyday community life. It's not just there for tourists. There are 3 domains of cultural vitality, and that is presence of opportunity, participation, and support for cultural participation. Of course, we can't go without economic health. It is essential to a sustainable future for every business or destination. And most importantly, uh, personal well-being. By achieving personal well-being, the individual is more ready to become a consciously proactive member of society, able to implement and promote inclusive sustainability through their own actions. And that leads us to regenerative development. Regenerating is a step up from sustaining and more. It demands a holistic approach. So regenerative development supports the SDGs, which have been adopted by the UN in 2015.
No, if you listen to half these people and how they do their presentation,
So,
you're gonna
of
laugh.
course, it would have
Their
been good if
knowledge
our
is
government had done more to fulfill their commitments to SDGs. And I'm taking the UK as an example, of course, since I live here. So UK has one of the lowest rates of awareness of SDGs in the world, which I find quite unbelievable, but it's true. A 2019 global poll by Ipsos Mori held in 28 countries found that only 13% of adults in the UK were familiar with the SDGs, compared to an international average of about 26% and a high of 55% in India. Unfortunately, the UK has made little progress on these commitments to the SDGs. Now, of course, some delays are understandable, as we have seen an unexpected general election, a change of government, the UK's exit from the EU, the infamous Brexit, and the devastation of the COVID-19 pandemic. But these events are insufficient for a valid excuse. How does it make a difference? So, years ago, we taught our travel and tourism students the importance of minimizing negative impacts. Well, this is no longer enough. It is also no longer possible to stop climate change. We know that for a fact now, but we can slow it down. Now we have to plan and implement regenerative development as part of the sustainability process. And in this process, we must be all encompassing and inclusive. And this is obviously our connection between the inclusive sustainability underlined by regenerative development. We really could talk about this for weeks, but I'm very conscious, of course, that we can't keep you here forever. So we're just touching upon the subject. And what action can you actually take to implement inclusive sustainability and regenerative development? Well, every business or destination must take action to become accountable, resilient, engaged, and restorative. This is the basis of regenerative development. And of course, here are some examples of action steps you can undertake. Starting from, for example, generating increased prosperity and health of human and natural environments, via commitment to water self-sufficiency. What is really, really important is building trust among all stakeholders in a destination or as a business in your local community. So you want to become a champion for implementation of well-being policies where you are, or in the destination that you serve. And of course, well-being, even happiness, are measurable values. So it is important to implement well-being metrics in the business or destination recovery plans. So where did this well-being come in? Of course, Jayanti is going to tell us more about the importance of well-being as well, and some routes, how to apply, etc. But considering my lecturing background, I would, of course, naturally choose to draw a loose parallel with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I'm sure you have heard of. But there is more, of course. In August 2011, the UN signed a resolution on happiness towards a holistic approach to development. And in April 2012, the high-level meeting on happiness and well-being, defining a new economic paradigm, was held. Most of us have heard by now about Bhutan, famous for their gross national happiness, or GNH. It includes an index which is used to measure the collective happiness and well-being of a population. It has been part of their constitution since 2008. New Zealand is another example who takes it so seriously. Their treasury uses well-being screening tools to allocate departmental budgets. But how does it relate to inclusive sustainability and regenerative development? Well, you can see obviously here from just a basis that I tried to show the correlation between feelings of well-being being absolutely essential. First of all, to the overall health of an individual. Once we have achieved the personal well-being, there is an openness, a greater openness and increased consciousness to lead to act towards actions in regenerative development, which in turn then underlines inclusive sustainability. Well, until we start educating at the most basic level, from kindergarten onwards, throughout the entire education system, and as a former lecturer, I am absolutely championing education. We will not succeed to create a lasting change towards a regenerative mindset, which becomes deeply ingrained in society, where ingenuity or recycling, reusing, reapplying materials and material items becomes fashionable and commonplace. We cannot succeed. But there is hope with young individuals pushing the tide, such as Greta Thunberg. So, considering my background as well as a Green Globe auditor, I would like to highlight as one of possibilities to help in this situation is certification. And the role of certification is provide a benchmark of practice as well as framework for communication. So obviously, as I'm a Green Globe auditor, I use them as an example. But before I say anything more, I just want to say there are so many different types of certification, sustainability certification, etc. It is, of course, important to get the best one. It is important to choose the right one, the one that is going to be sufficiently robust and fastidious, I'd say, in checking and making sure that the destination, the business, the organization are doing the right thing and they are actually carrying on. Anyway, the Green Globe Standard offers companies or organizations a professional industry-tailored framework to comprehensively evaluate achievements in the field of sustainability based on the 4 pillars: sustainable management, social economic, cultural heritage, and environment. The applicable sustainability criteria and indicators vary according to region, business, segment, and locational factors as well. As of course, you can see some of these factors. So, of course, we haven't forgotten COVID. What about COVID? Do we actually need inclusive sustainability and sustainability certification, regenerative development, when the travel and tourism industry ecosystem has been decimated and desperate for recovery? Well, just some benefits of certification here. So some examples of benefits implementing certification. So if we take reduced operational costs, at Green Globe, we did actually measure a 10% saving on energy, for example, by implementing the basis into businesses when getting this certified and working towards certification. For example, decreased employee turnover is something that is of great importance. It saves money, of course, as well. And we have measured a 7% increase in staff satisfaction. And I could go on, of course, again for some time, but let's move on. Because I do have colleagues that are going to want to speak as well, so I can't take all the time in the world. So anyway, without a conscious commitment to change, with a complete shift in mindset, we cannot succeed. There have been calls to save tourism for at least a decade now. From where I stand, very little has changed during that time. Now we're learning the hard way. So we do have the tools to implement change, of course, but we haven't done enough about it, and the time to act is now. Thank you very much indeed, and I would like to pass on the word to Elisabetta. Elisabetta, you're still on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't noticed this before. Let me start. Hello, everyone. I'm Elisabetta, as a representative of the Central Podravina Tourist Board in Croatia. I'm very grateful to Jorgen and Sneška to give me the opportunity and to share my experience of and introduce my small, as I can say, small piece of paradise of ours, these Podravina areas. Our vision is to become a sustainable and responsible destination, but till we achieve this point, we need to take a few steps before. Podravina literally means a region near Drava River. And this amazing river, many called the Amazon of Europe, the wildest part of the river Drava is going through my region, through Podravina areas. And this area is still pure, as I can say, virgin destination. 3 years from now, back in 2017, we started to build our story based on the long tradition of culture, customs, and old workshops, tales from the long time ago, and intangible heritage. One of the wide known intangible heritage of Podravina is naive art. There was a group called Zemlja, the Earth, formed in the Deep Depression and political crisis in 1929. And it was a time of extensive culturalization of villages sprouting from desire for equality of all social classes, especially peasants. An academic artist, Krsto Hegedušić, in 1930 founded the Hlebine Art School, a naive art movement that involved young peasants painters. One of them, Ivan Generalić, reached world fame, and then Ivan Večenaj, Ivan Rabuzin, Ivan Lacković-Kroata, Josip Generalić, Mio Kovačić, and others following his steps. Today, many of the third and fourth generation of the naive artists are still alive, and you can find them in their private galleries and ateliers. The interest on naive art started to fade, so our job is to find a new way of introducing this amazing art to new generations and new people to find, and we need to find creative ways of doing that. One of them is to using storytelling and interpretation as a technique to give the visitors first-hand experience. to give natural and cultural heritage deeper meaning. Through sharing the knowledge and organizing the workshops, telling stories and organizing events, we're taking small steps to achieve our goal to become sustainable, desirable and safe destination. You can see some legends of Podravina through the lens of the camera of talented photographer Iva Lulic from Zagreb. She wanted to capture magical atmosphere of Podravina and to make all our legends alive, which we have many of them. Here you can see just a few of many protected intangible heritage, like playing cymbals, making cake mazanica, or making licitar. Licitar is a colorfully decorated biscuit made of sweet honey, often used as an ornamental gift or souvenir from Croatia. And about symbols, you can see here on the photo a lady who is playing cymbals, and she starts to teach. She started to be a student when she age 63 years old. So you are never too old to chase your dreams. Croatia is really full of tradition, especially in Podravina area, and this is all really amazing to see, but many locals have no idea about the value and the importance of their local culture. So that's the reason why we organized many workshops, trying to educate much people as we can. So we started from the basics, from the early age with ABCs of tourism, and then we laid spread on the youth and till the old ones. And in many creative ways, we were literally stopped during this pandemic. And we aware that there is going to be changes in the next period, and we have to develop the ability to adapt and learn quickly as things have really changing so fast. So we want to adapt through the education, but also we are trying to find ways how to start some safe events. So we started one event called Walks Through Naive Art in Hlebine, where people could walk around the whole village and meet villagers and local artists in outdoors. We also create some virtual events like online cookie festival called Prkačiada, just to keep people connected and create some good content until we see each other again. And we are extremely proud on the fact that we have brave people in our community who challenge and overcome fear. So this one here, you can see one open his accommodation while many businesses in tourism are closing. So they registered accommodation for now for 16 people. We also have, you can see at the bottom, one family who started live shows just to keep people connected and share their good spirit even in the middle of their times of struggle. For the future, we want to establish ecotourism, a sustainable tourism based on the creativity, art and nature. We are searching the ways of networking and joint branding, thinking of the great meaningful events. We want to achieve customer service excellences, and we would like to prepare all our partners for the certification in sustainable tourism in these following years. We are really positive and optimistic, and because we are, just new destination, you can feel safe here in Podravina. You can join our artists, enjoy in beautiful natural environment. Thank you once again for having me here, and if you want to stay in touch, here is my contact. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Elisabetta. And of course, I must say I'm extremely proud of the fact that a local destination that is actually attached to my hometown is working so hard to build a sustainable destination. And of course, just like you mentioned, Elisabetta, Central Podravina is practically a virgin destination, almost unknown, and it's something that you can really reap benefits from. Anyway, I would like to next give word to Jayanti.
Thank you very much. My name is Jayanti, and I should thank Mr. Jorgen Steinmetz and Snezhka Richter to give me an opportunity to speak on what I perceive as one of the most important aspects of particularly keeping in mind the global pandemic, that is well-being. I'm not going to share the screens, so Snezhka, if you could do for me, or I would be grateful to you.
Okay, just 1 second. I am just going to open up your presentation. Hang on.
Thank you so much. So to give you a brief, I have been working in the tourism industry for the last 17 years. I don't know if Ms. Steinmetz remembers me or no, but we have been in some common platforms together. I have been very focused on responsible and sustainable tourism. I had formed a consortium of responsible sustainable initiatives from India and from the Indian subcontinent. I had presented them in various platforms outside India in many international travel events and exhibitions, particularly ITB, WTM, etc. I got many tour operators from international fraternity to get interested in some of these initiatives. And I spent a lot of time talking to our local governments to actually give a fillip, to give more encouragement to such initiatives so that every person in the fraternity gets some kind of income generation from these initiatives. Today, we are facing a period of crisis. We have been through, we have clearly seen that whatever has been happening till now, particularly in terms of destroying nature, its elements, pushing ideological differences to achieve limited gains, religious conflicts, war, terrorism, extinction of mass species, mass migration, and now a global pandemic. So the whole world needs a healing, and this healing extends to the humanity as well, because we need to now have a new dimension of thinking. We need to think away from hatred, bigotry, prejudice, etc. And I think the industry now is the right time to come closer to each other so that the entire industry fraternity works as one, so that we are able to push more sustainable forces together and with a strong commitment to environmental sustenance. If you see the kind of awakening that's happening now, majority of the people now are more inclined towards green initiatives. There is a strong sense of responsibility coming over for the green to keep environmental sustenance, and coupled with the fact that we need to ensure that every stakeholder gets maximum benefit. So this awakening has already started, and now is the right time to take this to the next level. New leadership within the fraternity should look at more community inclusiveness and sustainability. I'm not going into details because Snezhka has already very well explained all these things, keeping in mind the UNWTO SDG roles as well, SDG goals, I'm sorry. We need to think out of the box. So I have put some well-being goals out here, and the bottom line for these goals is empathy, compassion, and love. So we need to focus on global wellness. We need to focus on communities. We need to look at the macro picture for the society, for the country, for the planet. We need to look at using maximum diversity in terms of talent, backgrounds, visions, And rather than going back and forth and, creating more ideological differences between each other, we need to look at a comprehensive view so that we all collectively come together for the sake of our own self, that is the individual, then the society, organization, the country. So we need to create a new world view on gender equality, social justice, equal opportunities for all. We need to create new inclusive economies and not specifically cronyism and power mongering. And we need to have some individual goals as well. The first thing when we speak about individual goals is, in this area of pandemic, we always think that why me? What have I done? Why should I go through all this? But we need to look at some kind of acceptance, go for spiritual counseling. This is where people like us come into a picture, where we are trying to help as many people as possible so that they feel more grateful, they feel more confident with their own talents and skills, so that they feel the right kind of perspective to operate now, keeping in mind this kind of pandemic that we are facing. Many people have lost jobs, many people have lost even their own family members. So this is the time we need to reach out, extend, and give the maximum that we can as a helping hand. And I'm grateful to Mr. Steinmetz to create such kind of platforms where people can come together, brainstorm, discuss, and come out with solutions. So some of the perspectives I've listed out here, I've already mentioned about the society, the community, the country. So we need to all bring all these aspects together so that we, as one single identity, are able to leverage out of this and give the best out from within ourselves and from best from the society and from the country. So these are some of the areas where, as an individual, we can work on our own emotive wellness. We can connect within, and showing us deep sense of external empathy, we can achieve a lot of goals. The first and foremost thing which I think for an individual is enough sleep. So if you're not able to get enough sleep, you seriously need to work on that, because if you are well refreshed, you will be able to give as a leader a better sense of perspective to many people. Then, of course, is nutrition, biological grounding, wellness, limbical movements, yoga, pranayama. All this is well known. I don't need to elaborate. A feel-good factor that comes from deep sense of commitment and contentment, a deep sense of gratitude. Mind management, where we are able to get rid of negative, toxic energy of bigotry, separateness, hatred, and some kind of small-mindedness, where we look at the larger picture and connect spiritually to a higher entity, so that whatever action we perform, that action is more comprehensive. So these are some of the points that I have mentioned. In the last 13 years, I have researched a lot on psychology, spirituality, alongside working in the tourism industry. And now I run specialized courses. I do mind energy healing. I do mind therapies. On Sundays, I run programs which are specifically meant for internal awareness, so that when you're connected internally to your awareness, you can automatically perform larger actions. Thank you very much. You can always connect with me on LinkedIn or on WhatsApp or any other social media tool. And if you have any questions, I would be really happy to answer. Namaste.
And we'd be happy to add your information. And I do remember you. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Mr. Stein.
Yeah,
we have been on the UNWTO associated conferences.
Yes. I do remember that very clearly. Yeah, and just join us, and then you get a profile. We put your information up, and maybe you can join one or even lead one of our committees.
Sure.
For anyone together with SNEDJA, and I think there's good opportunity. Good to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jayanti. That was really, really great as well. And I have to thank you both, Elisabetta and Jayanti, for supporting the panel, the session with great insight as well. But particularly thank you, Jürgen, for actually creating this platform for us to be able to share our experiences and our thoughts. The World Tourism Network is definitely a great opportunity, and I do hope it grows maximum to the maximum, as we do need as many stakeholders as possible from the tourism industry to join and take part, basically. But anyway, I wanted to just conclude with a few words, and then, of course, if there are any questions, we will be open for them too. So I wanted to mention something from my past. When I was a lecturer in travel and tourism, discussing the purpose of being a responsible tourist, one of my students asked me, "But why should we not have fresh towels every day if we paid for it?" I don't think I need to add much more than that. Educating your clients is key. Educating your staff, your local community is key. Of course, we must be supported by policy change. If you have to educate your policymakers, your local governments, ultimately it is education that is the greatest tool that we have to influence change, which will support regenerative development and help us not only to build resilience and overcome crises such as this pandemic, but provide us with the tools to enrich the destinations we serve and aid the local communities to flourish, all with a mission to support the survival of our ecosystem called Earth. Thank you very much indeed. And over to you, Jürgen.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was a very interesting session and so important. And it kind of adds a little bit to what we have been discussing on a number of platforms. So it's definitely a good discussion. We could expand to an even larger audience yesterday. I remember Jeffrey Lippman, I'm sure you know, had a good session.
Yes.
Even, and then we had a session on happiness with the gentleman, I can't recall his name now, from Australia. All in community tourism and all these things kind of fall together. So hopefully all of you will join us, and so we can continue this and do make an impact. That's all we want. So, but anyways, there are. Oh, okay. There is questions. I think there is. I cannot read this. Nesana is asking, is raising a hand.
Yes, thank you very much, Jürgen.
Oh, it's you. It's Mrs. I didn't read your name. Let me introduce her before you go on. She actually runs our educational interest group, and she's in Serbia. We call her Snow White, and I couldn't read this here because my lamp was shining so bright on my screen, so I couldn't really. But I know, of course, who you are. Thanks for joining us again. I mean, it's like Stephen. You know, I have to mention Stephen. I didn't mention him yet, and also Arwin. They have been on so many of our sessions here. Thank you so much. But go ahead.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, all panelists. Snezhka, you remember that we met many years ago.
Yes, we have. I remember very fondly. And there you go. We've got two Snow Whites in one.
That's right, because Snezhka is a nickname of Snezhana, Snow White, yep, or Snevichen for Jürgen.
Yeah. You gave it all away now, Snezhana.
That's true. That's true. This is excellent panel, and this is what we are talking about when we started this group education and training. And I hope, Jürgen, that we can squeeze one new panel until the end of this year about the importance of the education and training in tourism.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. We should do that.
We can do that. Lovely. Snezhka, you will be a part of it. Are you agree?
Absolutely, I would love to, with absolute pleasure. You know that I used to be a lecturer in travel and tourism, so so I am, as you can tell from my presentation, I am, and even concluding words, education is such a key, massive key. So absolutely, I'd be delighted. Thank you.
It is really excellent what we heard today, and I think uh, uh, that will do it on our panel to see from the different aspects and the different views about the training in tourism. And as you said, and your colleagues from Croatia and from India, you said that education is the most important in these days. And I agree, because COVID-19 put our lives upside down, and we have to see what is the most important now to put tourism back on new tracks, on the old tracks, but the new tracks. And because of that, I thank you very much. And Jürgen, thank you very much that we can squeeze our panel, so we will discuss about it.
Yeah,
Thank you
what I
very
will
much.
do, I will send you a link, and you can just schedule it at your convenience. It has all the open spots on it, and we do have a good number of open spots we can find. Don't worry about
Lovely,
it. That's
lovely.
great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's from me. That's all from me for now.
Okay. I don't know if there's any more question. Feel free to raise your hand. Stephen must be asleep by now. It must be 3:37 in the morning in New York.
Wow, that
No, I
dedication,
am not
if
asleep.
anything.
I'm very much awake.
Oh, blimey, this is a typical British response. Not
Yes,
that
I
I'm
am
British,
from
but I'm
Kent,
so
actually.
undersized. Blimey, wow.
This has been brilliant. I'm really in awe, actually, to have been here, and it's been an honor, and to listen to all of the presentations. This has been fantastic. Thank you very
Thank you so
much.
much. Thank you.
Thanks for
My
being here.
pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And now, Arvin, Arvin is joining us from Borneo. Is that correct?
Wow, one of my all-time favorite destinations.
Hi, hi.
Hello, my great love to Borneo.
When can I expect to see you here?
Oh, I honestly, I couldn't wait for another opportunity.
Okay, great, great. I love to be one of Cinderella's dwarfs. I think she's fantastic. I think we all should be one of the dwarfs for her, because she's a real catalyst. She's a primary mover for what she's doing. Hats off to you.
Thank you very much indeed.
Indeed.
Thank you, guys. This was excellent, and I really appreciate you doing this. And I just wanted to remind everybody, this is live streaming. Of course, many of you see us on eTurbo News. We're going to repeat this a number of times for the next 2-3 weeks, but you also find it on archive, probably in the next 24 hours. Just go to worldexpo.travel and you can find this and all our other sessions we had so far on archive. And again, if you haven't joined World Tourism Network, please do go to wtn.travel. And of course, don't forget reading eTurbo News. We're here 24/7 and trying to cover the world. What is a challenge these days? There's so much to cover and so much you really don't want to cover. But let's go back to the good parts. I wanted to mention one more good thing at the end of the year. At the end of our launch month, we're going to have the second session with Louis D'Amour and Peace to Tourism. The first session, it went more than 3 hours and people loved it. We had an introduction of what Louis did in this 35 years since he started the organization. And now we're going to look forward what is planned for IIPT in the future. We're also having our New Year session, and we're trying to say goodbye to COVID, because if we compare it with the Spanish flu, it just finished exactly 100 years ago at the end of the year. So we're hoping we can put a lot of COVID to rest. We probably can't put it all to rest, but hopefully start the New Year's with a little bit on a positive note. And we'll be joined by tour guides from all over the world. Maricia, who's one of the U.S. ambassador for the International Tour Guide Association, and also the president of the association from South Africa, will be joining us together with people who work in the field and who are essential for our business. So good night from Hawaii. Good morning to you guys in Europe, I guess, and good afternoon to Borneo. We'll be back tomorrow morning, our time. We have 2 sessions coming up. You probably like the session Mona is preparing for Jordan, and she's saying Jordan is the most healthiest place on earth. So just go to WTN.travel, click on the upcoming event, and you can register to actually attend it live, and then you can also ask questions. Good night, guys, and thank you again. Aloha from here.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity here again.
No, it's my pleasure.
Definitely looking forward to, especially to the new year. I was a tour guide before as well, so that will be more fun too. But a goodbye to COVID would be fabulous for New Year. Thank you.
Let's see how we can
take care.
Take care, guys.
We are here in the Dead Sea, the lowest point on earth. It contains the salt, the mud, the rate of oxygen, which is healthy for your mind and soul and body. Wow, unbelievable. I've been a guide for a long time. It's the first time for me to see deep sea salt in the salt room, raw like salt in the floor, salt in the wall. After 1 week of exploring Jordan, I have to throw my cell phone away to relax. Well, here you clean your mind, you clean your soul. You know, this life is full of stress. Please, you have to take your stress away. I need this moment for myself. We are here in the Dead Sea, the lowest point on earth. It contains the salt, the mud, the rate of oxygen, which is healthy for your mind and soul and body. Wow, unbelievable. I've been a guide for a long time. It's the first time for me to see deep sea salt in the salt room, raw like salt in the floor, salt in the wall. After 1 week of exploring Jordan, I have to throw my cell phone away to relax. Well, here you clean your mind, you clean your soul. You know, this life is full of stress. Please, you have to take your stress away. I need this moment for myself.
Aloha and good morning, everybody. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz. I'm joining you from Livestream.travel and Etober News here in Honolulu, Hawaii. And we're celebrating this week the launch of World Tourism Network. World Tourism Network emerged out of Rebuilding.travel, what is a discussion we started actually in Germany back in March during a non-existing ITB in Berlin. We had a meeting and we discussed the possible development of COVID-19, not even knowing closely to where we're really heading. But it was an interesting discussion. We have more than 1,000 people in 124 countries. And we thought it would be good to structure this a little bit and also keep it to guide the industry through COVID and beyond. So our place in the world of tourism is to support mostly, I would say, the medium and small sized businesses and build this link between other organizations, the public sector, and local issues and more global issues. So our organization should be built up from the bottom up, not from the top down, similar to what SCORL is doing. I see Wolfgang is here from my SCORL club in Düsseldorf in Germany I'm a member of. So it's a similar system. We really want to empower our local chapters to take the lead, and we then as an organization on a global scale can probably give more weight to whatever the worries or the issues are, specifically in combination with Etober News and other media we're working with. So it's kind of the idea. So we're looking for local chapters, people who wanted to build these chapters, to join chapters. And we're also looking for interest groups. We have a number of interest groups already identified, anything from education to aviation and hospitality industry and so forth. So these are discussions we can do on a global scale together with the chapters and so forth. So that's basically where we stand. We're celebrating our launch all month, and you can go to worldexpo.travel and see all the archive. The way this works is we have a very small audience of live participants. Right now there's 7 of us, and everyone can ask questions and be part of it. And our more larger audience you find on our various social media channels and other social media channels. You find on Etober News, no matter what page you go on Etober News now, you will see your picture. So it becomes, it multiplies. We have a lot of people forwarding it. And so far, we just did a check this morning. I shared with Mona, we had about 46,000 people on an average over time watching our various events. And we had some really good events, and there's some more good ones coming up. Today, it'll be exciting to learn from Mona Nafa. She's joining us from Amman, Jordan, and she will tell us why actually Jordan is the healthiest place on earth. Now, if you go a little bit further, we also are looking forward to a number of events. Specifically, I'm looking forward to Louis D'Amour, head of the International Institute for Peace to Tourism, with his second event. The first event was about 35 years history and how IIPT started. And now our next event will be to look in the future. And we will close this year, hopefully saying goodbye, or not, adios or whatever, to COVID-19, because we're thinking the Spanish flu just finished exactly 100 years ago. So wouldn't that be a good way to also say goodbye to COVID and start the new year? Of course, we're not going to be COVID-free, but on a different platform, and to eliminate COVID and start on a positive note. And with this, we're going to have tour guides from all over the world joining us in this session. And it's organized by Marisa, who is head of the tourism, the Tour Guide Association here in the United States, and part of the global organization. And from what I know, also the president of this organization in South Africa, who is one of our members, will also join us. Now, without further delay, we're going to introduce Mona. But before we do this, I have a video here we're trying to share. And my apology, Mona sent this video, but because of time with so many sessions, I wasn't able to set this up professionally. So we're going to try to improvise here a little bit and see if this works. So we click on share, then.
We are here in the Dead Sea, the lowest point on Earth. It contains the salt, the mud, the rate of oxygen, which is healthy for your mind and soul and
body. Wow, unbelievable. I've been a guide for a long time. It's the first time for me to see deep sea salt in the salt room, like salt in the floor, salt in the wall. After 1 week of exploring Jordan, I have to throw my cell phone away to relax. Well, here, you clean your mind, you clean your soul. You know, this life is full of stress. Please, you have to take your stress away. I moment for myself.
Well, thank you very much. And I give it over to Mona.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That was Sam, our guide, who is very passionate for Jordan and the Dead Sea and all the great components of why I'm claiming. It's basically many people all over the world really say that the Dead Sea is the healthiest point on earth. We do have a presentation, and as you were saying, we are going to get ready in the new year to start traveling, to start being brave, to hop on an airplane, to take a year of staying at home, all the stress that we have really, all of us have really acquired through the unknown, loss of our industry, loss of jobs, loss of, many factors that have really affected us due to COVID. Travel, as you know, many on the call are in the travel sector, has been hit probably the hardest and will be the longest to actually bounce back. So I wanted to share with you, where would you go that is healthier than your own home and your own country? I propose to go to the Dead Sea, Jordan. And on the slide, on the presentation that we're going to put up shortly, I'm going to share with the audience why the Dead Sea is the healthiest point on earth. There's three components. It is the Dead Sea salt, the Dead Sea mud, and the high oxygen content that really justifies the healthiest point on Earth. So as you're getting the screen up there, I'll share with the audience. It's kind of pretty and colorful on the presentation. So Jürgen, is the PowerPoint up?
Well, I'm trying. I only get a black screen, and don't ask me why.
Okay, maybe I can share on my side.
Yeah, why don't you try? You can see it.
If you can disable me.
Yeah, so I'm going to stop sharing, and then you can do it on your side. Sorry about that.
Okay, not a problem.
If you click on share screen in the bottom.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, I'm going to get right to it. All right.
We don't see it yet. So if you can click on share screen and then click on the window with the PowerPoint and then activate the share screen.
You see it?
No, I don't. If you hold the window, yeah, now it's coming. There we go. We can see it. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. So why the Dead Sea is the healthiest point on Earth? Okay. Once again, we've got a lot of choices when we're ready to travel. So where are we going to go that is healthier than your own home and your own house? In Jordan, we have got fabulous resorts. We've got clean air, great sunsets. We've got a destination with modern hotels, great Airbnbs. We've got a destination with divine food. In fact, the Mediterranean diet has been known by CNN in 2019 and WebMD in 2020 as the healthiest diet in the world here in the Middle East. So I'm going to take you down to the lowest point on Earth, the Dead Sea, and once again share all the benefits of why it is the healthiest point on Earth. First of all, the Dead Sea, where is it and what is it? The Dead Sea is located at the lowest point on Earth, meaning that the oxygen content at the lowest point on Earth is higher than the oxygen content above sea level, 36% versus 26%. The Dead Sea is located an hour south of the capital of Amman in the country of Jordan. It is also landlocked between Palestine, Israel, and Jordan. The Dead Sea is a salt lake, and within the salt lake contains over 30 essential minerals and trace elements, meaning that there are an abundance of healthy minerals such as magnesium, calcium, bromine, all very important to the human body, as well as a very high concentration of salt. And we're going to get into the benefits of the salt shortly. At the Dead Sea, I'm going to focus on 3 components. Why, once again, it is healthy. Once again, we're going to travel. Your first destination, really, common sense should be at a healthy place. Sure, we can take the vaccine, we can do our best to stay healthy, but if an environment and a destination can do it for you, why not choose the holistic natural way? So I want to share with you what is so significant about the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea salt is antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal, and it's all natural in the air. The Dead Sea, the lowest point on Earth, has the highest oxygen content. Once again, with more oxygen in the air, you're breathing it freely, your immune system, your lungs, your skin are all working to benefit and help you be a healthier person. Lastly, I want to focus on the Dead Sea mud. The Dead Sea mud is very rich with antibacterial properties that help detox your body and help make your skin nice and smooth. So what does that mean to you as a traveler or a human being? You know, once again, I've got some friends on the call and we always talk about the Dead Sea benefits. So when you've got more oxygen, cleaner air, antiviral, antibacterial salt in the sea, in the air, this can translate to a stronger immune system. A strong immune system helps you fight off diseases. I'm not going to go there with COVID, but once again, we want to stay as healthy naturally as possible. And why not with all the natural elements of the Dead Sea? Don't forget, COVID does attack the lungs. So if the salt content and the fresh air can help you breathe better, help your respiratory system, and help you expand your lungs, why not? All doing it naturally. I want to touch a little bit about the benefits of the Dead Sea mud. Yes, I use the mud on my skin. I don't use it too much on my face yet, but I do use it all over my limbs. And yes, I feel my skin is tingling. I know it's being detoxed from the healthy minerals that are in the mud. And very important, you know, as we get older, it's so essential for us to have more calcium for our bones and more magnesium for our circulation. So this is all a little bit of the medical of my past life. So I want to touch a little bit about the Dead Sea and where to go and what to do and why I'm focusing on it, because it does hit home and it does hit what we do. We are in the hotel business. I wanted to share with you the many beautiful hotels and the resorts at the Dead Sea. And one of those is the Dead Sea Spa Resort. It was the first to be built in Jordan in 1990, once again at the lowest point on earth. And the owner was a visionary on the benefits of building a resort, a hotel at the lowest point with all the healthy natural elements of the mud, salt, and the sea. At the Dead Sea Spa Hotel, we have a licensed certified medical clinic. And for many, many years pre-COVID, we used to host many Europeans coming from Germany and Austria who doctors and insurance companies saw and knew of the benefits of sending their patients with dermatology problems such as eczema, psoriasis, acne. They found sending their patients to the Dead Sea, the patients were treated holistically. It was more cost effective for the insurance companies who used to fly the patients for 1 month, 28 days, flight, hotel, full board to get treated at the lowest point on earth. They found that stress is an autoimmune disease, which your body comes out with many skin problems when you're really stressed out. And when you de-stress, the skin problems minimize and or go away. At the Dead Sea Spa, we do have the first and only Dead Sea salt room. As Sam was saying, his life is quite stressful. COVID has really affected everybody in the sector. He goes to the salt room and he sits and relaxes. So we created the Dead Sea Salt Room, which we call a halotherapy. And it basically mimics a salt cave. There's salt on the walls, salt on the floor, and basically the salt particles are in the air naturally, which helps your respiratory pulmonary functions. Once again, it helps your lungs breathe and open up. meaning stronger lungs, more stamina. In fact, I was reading that athletes in the States, they sit in salt rooms because they want the highest function of their lung capacity. So they found the salt cave being very, very beneficial. Here in Jordan, currently we don't have too many tourists, but when we do recommend that they sit in a salt room 3 days a week for 45 minutes. And I talk the talk and walk the walk. So I'm a big fan of our salt room. Every time I fly from the States back to Jordan, I've got terrible jet lag. It's basically around the world. The next day I go down to the salt room, I relax, and I find that I sleep better. I'm more, once again, relaxed, I'm more calm, and I really find the benefits of the salt room, the salt air calms me and really takes care of my terrible, terrible jet lag. So what's to come after COVID? Jürgen and everybody on the call, we are extremely stressed out, not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing the effects of the vaccine. A lot of our jobs, a lot of our lifestyle, a lot of families, it's really the unknown. Sure, we're hopeful in the years to come, 2021, promises of the vaccine, but we really don't know. So I propose to the audience, when you're ready to travel, I highly recommend coming to the Dead Sea for your first destination, leaving your home, which is a healthier destination than your own home and your own country. So I wanted to recap once again on what I've been talking about on all the wellness benefits of the Dead Sea. So the salt, the mud, the air, what does it mean? It means that healthier lungs, post-COVID and beyond. COVID, unfortunately, and other symptoms has really compromised many people's lungs. This has not been scientifically proven, but it's common sense. Secondly, improving the skin from the Dead Sea mud. Basically, the mud is known to hydrate the skin, detox, really make your skin very smooth. Boost the immune system. That's a given with the oxygen, the higher content of oxygen. Me personally, I've got more energy and more stamina when I spend time at the Dead Sea. So do most of those patients that came from Germany for over 20 years. Sleep, better mood, all comes with reducing your stress. So usually with a relaxed body, good night's sleep, a strong immune system tends to lower one's blood pressure. Once again, these are wellness claims yet to be proven scientifically. So I welcome everybody on the call to come to the Dead Sea, be a wellness ambassador for the lowest point on earth, and take it upon yourself and really seek a holistic, natural way to really recharge and restart the new year. I don't want to leave the other beautiful sites of Jordan. So coming to the Dead Sea as your first destination when you're ready to travel, you also have access to Jordan's wonderful sites. We've got Petra, a wonder of the world, in the bottom right. We've got Wadi Rum, the top right. We've got many, many movies that were filmed in Wadi Rum, from Star Wars, Rise of the Skywalker, Rogue One, The Martian, Lawrence of Arabia. Hollywood is really looking at Wadi Rum as a destination for filming. We've got great diving at the Dead Sea. We've got Amman, the capital. And of course, we've got the biblical sites where Jesus was baptized at the Jordan River. So when we can, I invite you all once again to come to Jordan, come to the Dead Sea, and really be brave and really think about your health as your priority. And you've got means of really improving your immune system by coming to the Dead Sea. Thank you.
Wow, this sounds like perfect, Mona. Is there like let's say when you come there, what do you do? Are there places to stay and to do like a treatment, or how long should you stay?
Absolutely. Let me see how I get to. Well, we welcome you to stay as long as you like, of course. Um, Being that when we first start traveling, I don't think too many people really want to hop around. So it makes sense to come to a destination and stay for a while. Uh, Jurgen, is my screen?
Yes, you look perfect.
Okay. So basically, uh, come for a week. Once again, patients have come and stayed for 28 days. They found the value of staying for a long time. Taleb has said many, many times that we can become nomadic travelers. We could take our computer, travel anywhere, do our work online, kids can go to school online, and why not stay at a destination that gives you all of the healthy benefits? So staying at the Dead Sea for as long as possible would be my choice. If you know, basically how much time you can afford, and um, as long as you can take some time off, but have your computer will travel.
So when you go to the Dead Sea, where would you stay?
Once again, we've got lovely resorts. We've got 4-star, 5-star resorts. We've got some Airbnbs. What's been very popular are some farms. So plenty of accommodations to really meet one's budgets. Mind you, you can come to the Dead Sea as a base and you can see Jordan's sites. You've got a choice between Amman, you've got the choice between the Dead Sea. Why not stay in a place where the environment is going to be healthier below sea level versus that as above sea level, if I may?
And you know, I've been there, and I love this area. It's so different than any place on earth, and it's pretty much right in the center of Jordan. So you're right. It's very easy to see Petra. It's easy to see Amman, or you can all the way go do a day trip or stay a few days in Aqaba. So it's a really good area, I think, to stay in. Now, for me, always the most important part, especially if I wanted to stay someplace longer, how's the internet access there? Is there any internet?
Oh, fabulous. We have fabulous internet in Jordan, I must say. 4G, 5G. You could take your computer. We have free internet almost everywhere, even at some of the sites. So staying connected, staying accessible is not a problem in Jordan. You know, like we talked about briefly before we started, it's like, what's going to happen in the unknown? Yes, everybody's really itching. They want to get out. They want to travel. I propose, when I say the healthiest point on earth, we've got lots of choices, and everybody in the whole world wants that traveler to come to their destination. I propose, come to us first. We are a healthy environment. And I'm a big proponent of doing it holistically. You know, I'm not one to get the vaccine. So if I can keep my body as strong as possible, keep my immune system as strong as possible, eat well, sleep well, all that, you know, good stuff that we're supposed to do, that would be my choice versus doing the traditional medicine. I say that now. I say that because I've got the Dead Sea in our backyard, but I really wanted to share the message of holistic, natural healing, the holistic, natural choices first.
I know when I was in Jordan the last time, I think there was a UNWTO conference I visited. I took a tour from Petra down to the desert, and they took us to a place where you can actually hear the silence. And I found that so impressive. I said, next time I come back to Jordan, I want to stay a day or two just in the desert, just do nothing, just hear the silence. Tell me about this. Maybe that's something what could be combined with the Dead Sea.
Oh, absolutely. No, I mean, basically, come to Jordan, see the sights. Just spend more time at the Dead Sea. Jurgen, I think you went to Wadi Rum. Wadi Rum is our desert.
Right.
And yeah, I remember that trip. You went to Petra and then to Wadi Rum. The desert is gorgeous. In fact, once again, as I mentioned, Hollywood is looking at Wadi Rum as a preferred film site. Disney was out here. They filmed Rise of the Skywalker 2018, and then 2016 Rogue One. We had The Martian with Matt Damon. You've got a beautiful natural backdrop of the desert. It could be a planet, it could be Mars. And we've got amazing camps in Wadi Rum. Everything is not too far. Jordan isn't that big of a country. So between the Dead Sea and or Amman, Wadi Rum is about a three-hour drive. So doable in a day and or a long weekend. So.
And to fly into Jordan, of course, there's Amman, is your capital city. It has international air traffic. There's Aliyah, I think we call them Royal Jordanian Airlines. Are they still flying to the US, or are flights right now on hold?
No, we had our airport closed for several months, and that was tough. Jordan initially really took some very strong stance on containing the virus and keeping us closed, if I may. Our airport is open, it's functional. Not too many of my peers, I know my friends, are really traveling. I think it's the wait and see what's going to happen. If you don't need to go anywhere, people really aren't traveling. We do fly to Chicago, to New York, to Montreal. I'm not too sure if Canada's, who Canada's really accepting now. But I know myself as an Arab American, I am planning on going in 2021 to the States to see my family. But travel is different. Travel, I think the brave will travel. It's going to cost us more to travel. It's the unknown, what's going to happen at the airport, what's going to happen at the other destination. So this is going to be new for all of us in the coming new year, 2021.
And I think, Jordan, I know you had a spike in COVID, like we all get, but over time, I think the numbers were quite low, especially compared to your neighbor in Israel. They were quite a bit lower. How did you manage?
Well, once again, for several months, about 5 months, our airport was closed and our borders were closed. So basically it was landlocked. Very compliant population. I think we basically followed the trend of most countries. Springtime, March, April, May, it was the unknown, a little bit of fear, really, really cautious. Doors kind of open July, August, June, July, August. People were a little bit more brave, out and about. Most people still didn't travel. Our airports didn't open until August, September. So imagine an airport being closed from March till September. That's pretty significant. So we didn't have the movement of people coming and going. Yes, the numbers did rise when our airport opened, our borders opened up. That was inevitable. People became a little bit more comfortable, tend to mingle a bit. So our numbers spiked back to school, back to some routines. Then our schools, our universities and high schools went back online. We are no different than anybody else at this point. So I think, it's the holidays now. We've got Christmas around the corner. So it's going to be quiet like the rest of the world. It's going to be the nuclear family. It's going to be very, very minimal traveling movement. We still have a strict policy about gatherings. I believe no more than 20. Me personally, for Christmas, it's just going to be the immediate family versus the extended family. I am a people person, so I love having people at the house, but for, health does come first. And it's all of our jobs worldwide to be compliant and really get this under control. I am a big believer of wearing masks. I do listen to the scientists. My background is pharmaceuticals before I did come to the Middle East. I'm a big person on data, science over speculation. And I did touch on the presentation that I would really welcome a wellness study on all the benefits of the Dead Sea and really verify it and give it credibility on the logic of the Dead Sea salt and mud in the air. You know, once again, if German patients have been coming to this part of the world for over 20, 25 years because they believe in the holistic natural healing of the Dead Sea for skin problems, you know, that's Germans, you know, Jürgen, you're German. So, you know, they're very concrete type of nationality, and they, you know, very disciplined nationality. So we're doing something right for the German patients.
No, and it's interesting. Now, let me touch on something different. I know we weren't really supposed to talk about, but you mentioned it. It's about the vaccine. You said you're not going to take the vaccine. Now, you originally are from California, and so you know the situation in California. What is really alarming? I can tell you. I talked to the mayor here in Honolulu yesterday. California is our biggest source market for tourists, and we're not excited to welcome anyone from California, to be honest with you. And I think we should be careful. And how do you see, why did it, what is happening in California, and why in the world would you say you shouldn't take the vaccine?
Well, I'm not, if I can do it naturally, if I can keep a strong immune system, and I do my best to stay healthy, I know a strong immune system, strong lungs, strong, you know, detoxing, if I may, will give me the strong immune system to fight off diseases. Nothing's been proven, but this is just a Mona theory. Keeping a strong immune system can fight any disease. A weaker immune system, of course, your body's more susceptible to diseases. I hope I don't have to take a vaccine to get on an airplane. You know, I really don't like what I believe it was Qantas, the CEO. He came out and said that is a choice of a passenger, not to be imposed. But then again, it's our choice to take Qantas Airlines. Why the numbers are going up in California? You've got people who are rebellious. You've got people who are compliant. You know, it's a big population. It's a big state. And when you lose a sense of order, this is what happens.
Now,
what's going on in Hawaii?
Well, we are the lowest in the United States, and we want to stay the lowest. Our numbers went up a little bit after we opened for tourism on October 15th, but not as significant that would justify to reverse this. However, tourists are really not coming in big numbers. If you look at normal times, 30-some thousand visitors arrive every single day. We're now just maybe into the lower thousands. And we're concentrating, I think, rightfully on visitors from Asia, from Japan. We just opened the tourism bubble to Japan. Now, Japanese that are coming here have to be really committed to wanting to go to Hawaii, because when they go home, they have to go to a quarantine of 2 weeks. So they can enjoy a vacation. And I know we're trying to come to some kind of an agreement to avoid this with another test. There's a new testing facility at the airport. When it comes to the US mainland, I think Hawaii is concentrating in welcoming visitors from other parts than California, as I said, even though California is always been our main source markets. And people in California really understand this now, and I don't think they're traveling the same numbers as they did before. But so far, we have been able to keep our numbers low. We had a spike in the last few days, but not because of visitors, because of the prison system. I think in one of the prisons, we had more than 30% infected, what is tremendous. So the numbers did not, so far as I know, it's contained. It's not only the prisoners, also people who are employed in the prison, guards and so forth. So that has been and is a big problem. But from the visitor standpoint, we're doing okay. But then again, Hawaii has been literally locked up between March and October 15th. So it's similar than what you see in Jordan. So we don't know the end of it. There was Thanksgiving, there's Christmas coming up. That's our main travel season. I know that our largest hotel, the Hilton, just opened. So we have to see. We're all bracing. Our hospitals right now are fine. We have plenty of capacity. We have a lot of the intensive care available. But on an island, this can change very quick. And well, I think we're all in the same boat. No one has a crystal ball, what to say. But talking about the immune system, I think this is quite fascinating, what the Dead Sea can do to the immune system. And I'm wondering if any people besides from COVID, with HIV, for example, is this something over time what has been proven to help in strengthening the immune system?
Well, I'm just putting my logical hat on. Once again, I've been sharing about salt. Dead Sea salt is antiviral. Dead Sea salt is antifungal and antibacterial, meaning that it's, fights off the viruses. So logically speaking, if post-COVID patients, somebody who had COVID, came down to the Dead Sea and found that he or she spent some time there, had the opportunity to spend some time, with their lung and breathing capacity improve. From what we know about the salt therapy being very therapeutic, the salt expands the pulmonary, the respiratory breathing tract, expands the lungs. Mind you, COVID is new, salt therapy is new. I would love doctors to challenge me on this and come to this part of the world and really do a scientific study. Would COVID patients improve their respiratory breathing from salt therapy, spending time at the Dead Sea? This would be $1 million question. I'm just, like I said, I'm putting the logic behind the great benefits of the oxygen, the air, the mud. We all know that COVID hits the lungs, the respiratory. Would the oxygen, salt, and all those healthy minerals naturally help that individual post-COVID? So I'm not a scientist, nothing's been proven, but logically, where would you go when you've got all this healthy elements and minerals and magnesium in the air that could only help somebody? Mind you, there's a few, not everybody can get to the Dead Sea and feel comfortable because of the oxygen and the pressure, but the majority of people spending time in open air, open waters, in an environment full of oxygen, how can it not help you?
It makes a lot of sense. And I would just be a little bit worried about having a study with patients coming to Jordan, that of course puts you up to a risk. I don't know if you wanted to take it, but it would definitely, I agree with you, make a great study. And I'm wondering if anyone else wants to jump in, just raise your hand.
Well, yeah.
We'll be happy to hear you. Now go ahead, Mona, I'm sorry. Okay,
No,
so
has anybody raised their hand or any questions?
yes, if there's anyone else who wanted to ask questions, please do. We'd love to hear your input on it. There's Dolce. Go ahead. You have to unmute your microphone, please. Unmute your microphone, please.
Sorry, I've
Here
got
we
my
go.
iPad. Okay, thank you, Thomas.
Oh, that's good. Okay, I didn't realize seeing you there.
Yeah,
No, welcome. You have a different name on this. Yes,
that's the duet. I know. But
welcome.
I just want to thank you so much. I'm very interested, first of all, in the World Tourism Network. I think it's going to be brilliant, and I'll talk to you later after this. But I think, Mona, it's just brilliant also of what you're talking about is the brand or the strategy is to come here first. I mean, if nothing else and you're feeling good, why not stay feeling good? I'm really excited that, you embrace that, come here first. And I don't know if a lot of people realize, but Jordan is not a country of anything else. There's no oil, there's no other natural, any kind of way to create, profits. So, using salts and muds and tourism is really what is needed. So I think Mona is really on the right path. I really love hearing that.
Thank you, Sandy. Yeah, I mean, once again, when we're ready to travel, where are you going to go first? What makes sense? I'm just putting logic into play here. Where are you going to go and really feel comfortable for your first destination? So I am proposing a destination that is known to be healthy, and that's the Dead Sea Jordan. And you've got some sites, and you've got some great food, and warm, beautiful hospitality. The Jordanians are fabulous, just very warm, hospitable people. So.
No, Sandy.
Adelaide,
Jordan.
I know you agree.
I know Sandy is a good friend of us, and I apologize, I didn't recognize you.
Oh no, I'm getting older, Thomas.
Well, no, you never get older. we only get younger. But Sandy, just for you, for anyone who doesn't know Sandy, I think most of you know you. She has been a host of Travel Talk Radio for many years, and her radio show was very successful in the travel and tourism industry. She quit. I don't know. You have to tell us why you quit. But
Thomas, it was a really wonderful opportunity for me to really go back to what I really am, and I'm an artist and a musician. And so for me to do that, then take the travel portion of what I had of 15 years of having the radio show, I was able to then to jump in and start building bridges with music, which is a much better, really, it's me. It's really me. So at my ripe old age, I'm on my, another edition, but it is just that whole journey that has taken me back to what I started at 6 years old as being a musician and an artist. So that's really the story. It's quite simple. But I love you guys, and I'm gonna get more involved now that I've established the music career. So.
No, that's wonderful. It's really good to see you, and your radio show. As I said, I've been on your show a number of times over many years. Actually, it's Louis D'Amour. I think we both met on one of your shows 20-some years ago, and so we miss you. So thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. My pleasure.
So if there's anyone else who wanted to say something, I wanted to recognize also, she's been very loyal on our events. So we call her Snow White. And Snow White, I cannot pronounce her real name, but Snesana. And
I am.
I have to learn this one of these days, but she joined us when we had an event on Balkan. And she's a professor in Serbia, and she's now leading our educational committee. Thanks, Snow White, for being on this event. You were also a guest on the event just about an hour or two, and thank you for that. So are you going to go to the Dead Sea?
Oh, yes, I would like. I haven't been to Jordan. I read a lot about Petra, about the Dead Sea, and I just, this panel remind me when I was at the university, one of our professor was speaking about Jordan and about sea and about how healthy the water is. And then he said that 56 different elements are in the sea water, which is very important for our body and for our mind. And I was just remember that when I was listening all about that sea. But I think that Wolfgang wanted to ask something.
Oh yes, yeah, absolutely. They put Wolfgang in the spotlight, and Wolfgang is a good friend. He's in Düsseldorf, the town I was born and raised, my hometown, and I'm a member of SCOL, and actually I'm still a member of the SCOL club in Düsseldorf, Wolfgang has been involved in for many, many years. Welcome, Wolfgang.
Yeah, thank you, Jürgen. I just want to support Mona, what she's saying about Jordan. I was organizing tours to Jordan quite frequently. I'm in the business organizing tours for runners. So the Dead Sea Ultra Marathon was one of our standard programs. And we even organized together with some Jordanian runners a marathon in the Wadi Rum, the Jabal Ishrin Marathon. So I run the desert, I run Amman to the Dead Sea, which was tough because it's a difference of 1,300 meters altitude. And going downhill, mind you, it's getting more on your knees and everything than going uphill. And when we came down, you pass the sign, this is sea level, and then you go further down and you reach the basin of the Dead Sea. You really feel it. Okay, you're a bit exhausted. It's after about 30 kilometers. You feel a bit exhausted, but the air gets thicker. You can really feel it. It's a different. And we finished at the Amman Beach Club, which is beautiful. And we dipped in the sea, of course. And as a runner, I know about the importance of oxygen to your body. And I can fully agree that every exercise which improves your intake of oxygen is healthy for everything, for your brain, fighting dementia when you get older, for your muscles, everything. And so I think, and COVID, in Latin America, they have a different attitude to COVID. They say it's not so much a lung disease, it's a blood disease. That the red dots in your blood are blocked by COVID to work with the oxygen. So I think increasing the intake of oxygen might be an interesting thing to do. And what is a real must when you sell Jordan, you must sell the tour package. It's no way to do any program in Jordan. And it's beautiful. 1 week you see a lot. I was surprised about Jerash. Jerash is fantastic. The archaeological park. I was surprised how many Christian sites are on the Jordan side of the Jordan. First time I got there, it was surprising for me. And something very positive, Petra, one of the real top things. And I recommended my clients, instead of the traditional one-day Petra, stay one more day. Do the official tour of Petra with a guide, with explanations, and then go there again the next day and just hang around, go up the mountains, have a look, relax, and then really take your time with all the impressions. And it's in Wadi Rum. You have very good tent locations there now where you can really get the atmosphere of the desert at night. So and something very important, when we sell this near Middle East, Egypt, and all these countries, people say, how about the food? I hear people get problems with the stomach. In Jordan, we never had any problems with any of my clients with stomach problems. So the water and the kitchen is very, very safe in Jordan. This is a very important thing because many people are afraid. So this Dead Sea plus the tour is really a must.
Oh, no, I can definitely attest to this. The food is actually excellent. You can come to Jordan just on a culinary trip, I think, and it's very healthy and it's very tasty, and the atmosphere in for the most part, when there's no COVID, is that's all I know. It was great.
Thank you so much. Wolfgang, Sandy, Jürgen, Snow White, you are all testimonials, so, and especially Wolfgang being an athlete, a runner, the oxygen all the way around is, Imagine stress that we're all feeling. Imagine going into an environment that basically relaxes you, sedates you, makes you feel human again. That all can be possible at the Dead Sea. I'm really happy to see Adil on the call. And if I can say anything, one of my mentors, and taught me a lot about sharing Jordan and promoting Jordan. So I'm very grateful, and I've learned a lot from Adil. He's really a pillar in the tourism sector, and we all work together to make Jordan a better place with friends abroad and friends inside. So
Adel, welcome. Tell us a little bit more. I know who you are, but maybe tell everyone else who you are and what you're doing.
Yes, thank you very much. It's a great opportunity to be among you today. I hope everyone is hearing me properly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. I'm in the industry for more than 30 years. My background is hotels. I started at the Radisson SAS hotels and then moved to tour operator business before being the deputy managing director of the Jordan Tourism Board until last year. Currently, I'm self-employed as an international consultant for more than one organization, working on different projects accordingly. What Mona mentioned is quite spot on when it comes to what we are all suffering. But I would like just to add on that due to this COVID and the lockdowns, we are not only suffering health-wise, we're suffering mentally. So I do believe that if you combine the three elements, which is spiritual healing, in addition to mental healing and health-wise, Jordan is the perfect place to be. As mentioned, Jordan is not a big country. You can do a perfect tour with minimum days, having some, let's say, switching off at Wadi Rum, just being in the middle of nowhere, enjoying the beautiful scenery of the desert, in addition to visiting the baptism site for some spiritual healing, and the Dead Sea. It's all close to each other. So I do believe that it would be the perfect place to put it on top of your bucket list for 2021, so that we hopefully slowly but surely return to normal. This was just a comment I wanted to share with all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adel, for calling in. And I think we have to go to dinner again in Jordan one of these days. Yeah, Mona, I give you the last word here so far, unless there's another question. And I really wanted to, I don't see any, but I wanted to thank you for being a guest on the show and preparing this very interesting panel and insight on Jordan and the Dead Sea. And it was quite educational, and hopefully we can have you back. Before we talked, you agreed on starting our chapter in Jordan for World Tourism Network, and congratulations, I'm very excited. And we set this up and we can talk some more, and welcome to the Inner Circle family. And I wanted to encourage anyone else from our members, if you wanted to start a local chapter or you have an interest in a specific subject on a global basis, to let us know, and we'd be happy to find a way to integrate this like we did for Snow White, and she running our educational chapter. I'm so sorry. And but in any case, this was a very, very interesting event. I wanted to encourage everyone to go to wtn.travel. You can find the archive very soon in the next 12 hours, or you go to worldtourismevents.com or any of our other websites, and you will probably see the session repeated throughout the next few weeks on eTurbo News and our social media. And if you wanted to sign up for any of our upcoming events, and we have a number of them, please do so also at wtn.travel and click on the event link. And again, it was great seeing Sandy. That was a big surprise to see you. We miss you. And yes, feel free to call anytime. And I got Wolfgang's message too, and we'll talk soon. I call you. And anyone else, it was great having you on board, and hopefully we see you very soon at another event, and hear from you very shortly about what is next for WTN and how we can work together. Mona,
Sure.
you have the last word. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. And yes, we do need to think of the small and medium businesses, and that's the value added of the WTN. Jordan is composed of small business units, locally sourced. These are the core of our sector. But going back to the healthiest point on earth, we do have, where are you going to make your first trip? Do think of a healthy destination. Do think of investing in your health with a strong immune system, because everything else doesn't matter if you're not healthy. So I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We hope for a wonderful 2021. We hope for travel. We hope for unity. We hope for progress and peace, of course. So I wish you all a very good night, good day, aloha, Jürgen. Thank you for the opportunity to put Jordan on the map. We welcome visitors in 2021.
Aloha, and thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.